Hello, my beautiful dreamers. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance Audiobooks, where trust is shattered in whispered conversations, escape happens in darkness, and sometimes fleeing before dawn means running toward your true destiny. Tonight, I have a story that will break your heart before it heals it. A tale of a woman who gave everything to the wrong man, a devastating conversation overheard in the shadows, and the courage it takes to run when staying means destruction. But most of all, it's about discovering that what you flee from isn't always what breaks you. It's what you flee toward that saves you. Imagine being Luna to a powerful alpha. Imagine giving him 3 years of devotion, loyalty, and love. Now imagine overhearing him planning your replacement. Not just replacing you as Luna, replacing you entirely. Discussing how to dispose of you, how to make room for the she-wolf he actually wants. And imagine having hours, just hours, before dawn when his plan executes. Hours to decide, stay and face whatever he's planned, or flee into the darkness, and pray you survive. So settle in close, my dreamers. This is a story about the conversations we're not meant to hear, the courage to run when running seems impossible, and the unexpected salvation that waits in the darkness when we're brave enough to flee. This is Before the First Light. Prologue, the conversation. My name is Alara, and I'm about to hear the words that will destroy my world. It's midnight. I'm returning from a late meeting with the pack elders, walking through the corridors of the estate I've called home for 3 years. I hear voices, coming from my mate's study, Alpha Thorn's study, my mate, my husband, the wolf I've served as Luna for 3 years. I approach to announce my return, but something in his tone stops me. Something cold, calculating, dangerous. The ceremony is tomorrow night, Thorn says. Everything is arranged? Yes, Alpha. That's Marcus, his beta. The documents are prepared. The pack will be assembled. It will appear completely legitimate. Good. And Alara? She suspects nothing? My blood runs cold. They're talking about me. Planning something involving me. Without my knowledge. She suspects nothing, Marcus confirms. She's been the perfect, obedient Luna. Trusts you completely. This will blindside her. Excellent. The rejection ceremony will be quick. Public. I'll declare her unfit as Luna. Cite her failure to produce an heir. The pack will accept it. Rejection ceremony. He's planning to reject me. Publicly. Tomorrow night. And afterward? Marcus asks. What happens to her? Afterward, Thorn's voice drops, becomes deadly. Afterward, she'll be declared rogue, stripped of pack protection, and dealt with accordingly. I mean she knows too much about pack business, about my dealings, about things that could damage me if revealed. She can't be allowed to leave, can't be allowed to talk. Once she's rogue, she's fair game. An accident will be arranged, quick, permanent, problem solved. Dealt with? An accident. He's planning to have me killed. And the new Luna? Marcus continues. Seraphina is prepared? Seraphina is perfect, strong, fertile, from a powerful family. Everything Alara isn't. Everything I actually need. The ceremony will happen immediately after. Rejection at sunset. New mating at midnight. Clean. Efficient. The pack might question. The pack will accept what I tell them. Alara failed her duties. Seraphina fulfills them. Simple. They'll adapt or they'll leave. I can't breathe, can't move, can't process what I'm hearing. My mate, my husband, the wolf I've loved and served for 3 years, is planning to reject me publicly, declare me rogue, and have me killed. All so he can mate with someone else. Someone he considers better, stronger, more worthy. You're certain this is necessary? Marcus asks. Alara's been loyal, devoted. She doesn't deserve... I don't care what she deserves. I care what I need, and I need her gone, permanently. Now make sure everything is arranged. I want no mistakes tomorrow. Yes, Alpha. Footsteps. They're coming. I move quickly, silently. Hide in an alcove as they pass. Marcus first. Then Thorn. My mate. The wolf who just sentenced me to death. He doesn't see me. Doesn't know I heard. Doesn't know I'm standing in the shadows, heartbreaking, world-shattering, mind-racing. I have until tomorrow night. Less than 24 hours. Before he rejects me publicly. Before he declares me rogue. Before he has me killed. I have until dawn to disappear. To run. To escape before his plan executes. I have hours to flee the life I've built. The male I loved. The pack I've served. Hours to run before the first light reveals my absence. And I'm going to use every single one. Chapter 1. The Luna, 3 years before. The mating, I became Luna 3 years ago, chosen by Alpha Thorn Blackwood, selected from dozens of candidates to be his mate. You're perfect, he'd said during our courtship. Intelligent, graceful, exactly what Ironwood Pack needs as Luna. I'm honored. I'll do everything I can to serve the pack well. I know you will. You're dedicated, loyal, reliable. Those are rare qualities. The mating ceremony was beautiful, traditional, everything I'd dreamed of. I, Thorn Blackwood, Alpha of Ironwood Pack, take you, Alara Moonstone, as my mate, my Luna, my partner in leading this pack. I, Alara Moonstone, take you, Thorn Blackwood, as my mate, my Alpha, my partner in all things. The bond formed, not fated, just chosen, but strong, binding, meant to be permanent. You're mine now, Thorn said after the ceremony. My Luna, my responsibility, my asset. Asset. An odd word, but I dismissed it, focused on the joy, the honor, the future. The first year was perfect, or so I thought. I threw myself into Luna duties, managing the pack house, organizing events, supporting Thorn's leadership, being the perfect mate. You're doing well, Thorn would say. The pack approves of you. You're fulfilling your role adequately. Adequately. Not excellently. Not wonderfully. Adequately. Is there something I should improve? I'd ask. Just keep doing what you're doing. Be present. Be useful. Don't cause problems. I didn't cause problems. I was the perfect Luna. Supportive, obedient, dedicated. Everything he supposedly wanted. You're so lucky, other she-wolves would say. Mated to the Alpha. Living in luxury. Being Luna. I am lucky. Thorn is a good mate. A strong Alpha. I'm grateful. But something felt off. Thorn was distant, detached. He treated me like an employee, not a mate, like I was fulfilling a function, not building a partnership. Do you love me? I asked one night, needing reassurance. Love? That's irrelevant. We're mated. We fulfill our roles. That's what matters. But do you care about me? As myself? As Alara? I care that you're an effective Luna, that you represent the pack well, that you fulfill your duties. Isn't that enough? It should have been a warning. Should have shown me what he really thought. But I made excuses, told myself he was just practical, focused on pack duties, not emotionally expressive. I convinced myself it was enough. The second year, too, was when things started changing. Subtle things at first. We need an heir, Thorn announced one evening. You've been Luna for a year. It's time. I agree. I'm ready when you are. Good. We'll begin trying. The pack needs to see continuity. An heir ensures stability. He spoke about having children like it was a business transaction, not creating a family, creating continuity, ensuring stability. We tried for months. Nothing happened. You're not conceiving, Thorn said, frustrated. Why not? I don't know. Maybe we should see the pack healer. I've already seen her. I'm fine. Perfectly fertile. The problem is you. The pack healer examined me, found nothing wrong. Sometimes these things take time. There's no medical reason you can't conceive. Just keep trying. But Thorn's attitude changed. He became colder, more critical, more distant. You have one job as Luna, one primary function, and you're failing it. I'm trying. Trying isn't enough. The pack expects an heir, expects proof our lineage continues. Your failure reflects poorly on both of us. The healer said there's nothing wrong. Then try harder. Because if you can't fulfill this basic function, I'll find someone who can. The threat was clear. Produce an heir or be replaced. I tried harder, desperate, terrified, but nothing worked. You're broken, Thorn said after a year of trying. Defective. Useless. The words destroyed me. But I kept trying, kept hoping, kept believing he'd change his mind, that he'd value me for more than just producing children. I was so naive. The third year, year 3, was when I started noticing her. Seraphina, a she-wolf from a visiting pack. Who is she? I asked, seeing Thorn talking with her at a gathering. Seraphina Nightshade, from the Crescent Moon pack. Her father is Alpha there. She's visiting to discuss alliance matters. She seems very friendly with you. She's intelligent, well-connected, useful for pack politics. Don't be jealous, Alara. It's unbecoming. But I was jealous, because Thorn looked at Seraphina the way he'd never looked at me, with interest, appreciation, desire. She's beautiful, I mentioned to Marcus one day. Very, and fertile. She has 3 younger siblings, comes from a strong bloodline. Why are you telling me this? No reason, just making conversation. But it wasn't just conversation. It was a message. Seraphina was everything I wasn't. Fertile, from a powerful family, able to give Thorn what I couldn't. Seraphina will be staying with us, Thorn announced, indefinitely, for alliance purposes. She's living here, in our home, in the guest wing. Is that a problem? It feels inappropriate. Your feelings are noted and dismissed. She's staying. She's valuable to pack interests. Deal with it. And she stayed. For months. Always around Thorn. Always laughing with him. Always being everything I wasn't. You should be worried, one of the pack she-wolves whispered to me. He looks at her differently than he looks at you. He's my mate. He's an alpha. And you failed to give him an heir. That makes you replaceable. Seraphina is younger, fertile, from a better family. If I were you, I'd be very worried. I was worried. Terrified. But I didn't know what to do. Didn't know how to compete with someone who was everything I supposedly wasn't. 3 months ago, the distance. 3 months ago, Thorn stopped coming to our shared chambers, stopped pretending we had a real mating, stopped even basic courtesy. Where do you sleep now? I asked when I noticed. That's not your concern. Focus on your duties. Stop monitoring my movements. I'm your mate. You're my Luna. There's a difference. Fulfill your role. Stop demanding things you're not entitled to. I'm entitled to honesty, to respect, to basic partnership. You're entitled to what I decide you're entitled to. Nothing more. Now drop this. I'm tired of your neediness. I should have confronted him, should have demanded truth, should have seen what was coming. But I didn't. I just tried harder, tried to be more perfect, more useful, more valuable, tried to be enough for a male who'd already decided I wasn't. Last week, the signs became impossible to ignore. Thorn and Seraphina were together constantly, laughing, touching, behaving like mates while I was treated like a servant. People are talking, I told him, about you and Seraphina, about how inappropriate it looks. Let them talk. I don't care about gossip. I care. I'm your Luna. This humiliates me. Then be a better Luna. Give me an heir. Give me a reason to value you. Until then, stop complaining about things you can't control. I can't control my fertility. Exactly. You can't control the one thing that matters. So maybe you shouldn't be Luna at all. Maybe someone more capable should take your place. The threat was explicit, clear. He was going to replace me. I just didn't know how permanent that replacement would be. Chapter 2. The Overhearing, the Late Meeting. The night I overheard his plans started ordinarily, a meeting with pack elders, discussing territory boundaries, standard Luna business. "Thank you for your input, Luna Alara," the head elder said as we concluded. "You've been invaluable in mediating this dispute. I'm just doing my duty. You do it well. The pack is fortunate to have you." The compliment warmed me, made me feel valued for the first time in months. I returned to the estate around midnight, planning to go straight to bed. But I heard voices from Thorne's study. Curious. Who would he be meeting with this late? I approached the door, intending to knock, to announce my return. Then I heard my name. The plan revealed. "And Alara? She suspects nothing?" Marcus's voice, asking about me. Why were they discussing me? I pressed closer to the door, listening, heart pounding. "She suspects nothing. She's been the perfect, obedient Luna. Trusts you completely. This will blindside her." Thorne's response made my blood run cold. "Excellent. The rejection ceremony will be quick, public. I'll declare her unfit as Luna. Cite her failure to produce an heir. The pack will accept it." Rejection ceremony. He was planning to reject me. Publicly. Declare me unfit. I kept listening. Needed to know more. Needed to understand. And afterward? What happens to her? Afterward, she'll be declared rogue, stripped of pack protection, and dealt with accordingly. Dealt with, the casual way he said it, like I was a problem to eliminate, a loose end to tie up. I mean she knows too much about pack business, about my dealings, about things that could damage me if revealed. She can't be allowed to leave, can't be allowed to talk. Once she's rogue, she's fair game. An accident will be arranged. Quick, permanent, problem solved. An accident. He was planning to have me killed. My mate, the wolf I'd given 3 years of my life to, was planning my murder. And the new Luna? Seraphina is prepared? Seraphina is perfect, strong, fertile, from a powerful family. Everything Alara isn't. Everything I actually need. The ceremony will happen immediately after. Rejection at sunset. New mating at midnight. Clean. Efficient. He'd been planning this. For how long? Weeks? Months? How long had he been plotting my replacement and death? The details. I listened to them discuss logistics. Every word a knife to my heart. The rejection will be at sunset. In the pack square. Maximum witnesses. Maximum legitimacy. And you're certain she won't fight it? What can she fight? She's failed her primary duty. Failed to produce an heir. The pack knows it. They'll support my decision. Some might object to the speed, rejecting her one moment and mating Seraphina the next. Let them object. I'm alpha. My decisions are final. Those who don't like it can leave. And the accident? Will happen within 48 hours of the rejection. Once she's rogue, we have legal cover. A tragic hunting accident. A fall. A rogue attack. Something believable. Something that can't be traced back to us. You're certain this is necessary? She's been loyal. Loyalty is irrelevant. She knows things, sensitive things, about the alliance with Shadowpack, about the territory deals, about financial arrangements that wouldn't hold up to scrutiny. She's a liability. Liabilities must be eliminated. So, it wasn't just about replacing me with Seraphina. It was about silencing me, making sure I couldn't reveal whatever shady dealings Thorne had been involved in. I'd been so blind, so trusting, so stupid. The timeline. Tomorrow night, then. Everything is arranged? Everything. Documents prepared, pack assembled, Seraphina ready. Guards briefed on the post-rejection security measures. Post-rejection security measures. Guards to ensure I couldn't escape, couldn't run, couldn't save myself. Good. I'll announce a mandatory pack gathering tomorrow at sunset. Alara won't suspect anything unusual. She'll walk right into it. And if she does suspect, if she tries to leave, she won't. She's too obedient, too devoted, too desperate for my approval. She'll come to the gathering hoping for acknowledgement. Instead, she'll get rejection and condemnation. They were so confident, so certain I'd walk into my own destruction like a lamb to slaughter. One more thing, Marcus said. What about her family? The Moonstones will object to her being killed. The Moonstones disowned her when she mated me. Said she was pack property now. They won't interfere. No one will. Alara is alone, unprotected. Perfect target. Perfect target, that's what I'd become. Not Luna, not mate, not even person. Just a target to eliminate. It's the realization. Footsteps. They were leaving the study. I had seconds to hide. I pressed into an alcove, watched them pass. Marcus first, then Thorn, my mate, my husband. The wolf I'd loved, served, devoted myself to. He walked past without seeing me, without knowing I'd heard everything, without knowing his perfect plan was about to unravel. Because I wasn't going to that gathering, wasn't going to stand there and let him reject me publicly, wasn't going to be declared rogue, wasn't going to wait around to be murdered. I was going to run. Tonight. Before dawn. Before he even knew I was gone. I had hours. Maybe 10 hours before dawn. Before people woke. Before guards noticed. 10 hours to pack what I could carry. To leave behind everything I couldn't. To disappear before the first light revealed my escape. 10 hours to save my own life. And I was going to use every single one. Chapter 3. The preparation, midnight to 1 a.m. The shock. I stood in that alcove for minutes, maybe hours, couldn't move, couldn't process, couldn't breathe through the betrayal. 3 years. 3 years of devotion, of service, of trying to be the perfect Luna. And he'd been planning my murder. Finally, my survival instinct kicked in. Standing here wouldn't save me. Running might. I crept to my chambers, locked the door, leaned against it, let the reality hit me. I was going to die. Tomorrow night. If I stayed, if I attended that gathering, if I let Thorn execute his plan, unless I ran, unless I disappeared, unless I fled before the first light. 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., the planning. I forced myself to think, to plan, to strategize. What could I take? Not much. Had to travel light. Had to move fast. Money. I had my personal accounts. Not much, but enough. I transferred everything to an untraceable account. Made it accessible only to me. Documents. I gathered my identification. Birth certificate. Any proof of who I was before I became Luna. Clothing. Practical clothes. Dark colors. Designed for travel, not luxury. Weapons. A silver knife. Small but effective. For protection. Food. Whatever non-perishable items I could carry. Medicine. Basic first aid. Painkillers. Anything that might help. I laid it all out, packed it methodically, kept my mind busy so I wouldn't think about what I was doing, what I was leaving, what I'd lost. 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. The doubt at 2 a.m., doubt crept in. Paralyzing. Devastating. Maybe I'd misheard. Maybe Thorn wasn't really planning to kill me. Maybe I was overreacting. But no. I'd heard every word, every detail, every confirmation. He was going to reject me, declare me rogue, have me killed. This wasn't paranoia. This wasn't misunderstanding. This was reality. And reality meant I had to run. But where? I had no pack. No family who'd take me in. No allies who'd protect me against an alpha. I'd be rogue, alone, vulnerable. Easy prey for anyone who wanted to finish what Thorn started. You'll die out there, a voice in my head whispered. Alone. Hunted. Destroyed. Maybe, I whispered back. But I'll die fighting. Not waiting for execution. Not obedient to the end. Fighting. That decided it. I'd rather die free than live one more day in this prison disguised as luxury. 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. The evidence at 3 a.m., I had an idea. Evidence. I needed evidence of Thorne's plan, of his dealings, of everything he wanted to keep hidden. I crept to his study, picked the lock, a skill I'd learned years ago and never thought I'd use, searched his files, and I found it. Everything. Documents detailing illegal territory deals, alliance agreements that violated pack law, financial records showing embezzlement, proof of everything Thorne wanted hidden. I photographed everything, saved it to an encrypted drive, multiple copies, hidden in different places. Insurance, I muttered. If you come after me, Thorne, this goes public, all of it. You'll be destroyed. It wasn't much protection, but it was something. Leverage, a reason for him to let me go instead of hunting me. 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. The letters at 4 a.m. I wrote letters, 3 of them, to be delivered after I was gone. The first to Marcus. I know what you planned. I heard everything. I'm gone. Don't look for me. I have evidence of all of Thorne's illegal dealings. If anything happens to me, it goes public. Leave me alone, and your secrets stay secret. The second to Serafina. Congratulations on becoming Luna. I hope you're luckier than I was. Watch your back. Thorne discards what he no longer values. Someday, that will be you. The third to Thorne. I heard you, in your study, planning my rejection, my death. I'm gone. You'll never find me. And if you try, I'll destroy you with the evidence I have. Leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. Come after me and I'll burn your entire world down. Choose wisely. Dramatic? Maybe. But necessary. I needed him to know I wasn't helpless. Wasn't the obedient Luna he expected. Wasn't going to die quietly. I sealed the letters. Left them where they'd be found after I was gone. 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. The grief at 5 a.m., I let myself grieve. 1 hour. That's all I allowed. I grieved the life I'd thought I had. The mate I'd thought I'd found. The future I'd thought I'd build. I grieved 3 years of devotion, of service, of trying to be enough for someone who never valued me. I grieved the Luna I'd been, the she-wolf who'd believed in duty and loyalty and partnership. I let myself cry, sob, break. One last time. Then I dried my tears, straightened my spine, became someone new, someone who survived, someone who fought, someone who refused to be a victim. I wasn't Luna Alara anymore. Wasn't anyone's mate. Wasn't anyone's target. I was just Alara. And Alara was about to disappear. Chapter 4. The escape 6 a.m. The departure at 6 a.m. Just before dawn, I made my final preparations. One last look around my chambers. The luxury, the beautiful things, the life I'd built. All of it was a lie. All of it was a cage. All of it was a tomb waiting to close. I left it behind without regret. I took the servants' stairs, the ones no one guarded, the ones no one watched, the ones I'd walked 1,000 times as Luna checking on staff. The pack house was silent. Everyone asleep, no one expecting their Luna to be fleeing in the darkness. I reached the side door, unlocked it with the master key I'd stolen from Thorne's study, stepped out into the cold pre-dawn air. Freedom. Terrifying. Exhilarating. Real. 6:30 a.m. The escape. I shifted, ran, put as much distance between myself and Ironwood territory as possible before dawn revealed my escape. My wolf was strong, fast, desperate. She ran like our life depended on it. Because it did. Behind me, the estate grew smaller, disappeared, became a memory, a nightmare, a past I was fleeing. Ahead, the forest opened up, dark, dangerous, unknown. But unknown was better than certain death. Darkness was better than the false light of Thorne's betrayal. I ran until my paws bled, until my lungs screamed, until I couldn't run anymore. Then I ran some more. 8 a.m., the discovery. I reached neutral territory by 8 a.m. The sun was fully up. People would be waking at the estate, discovering my absence. I found a stream, washed my scent, made myself harder to track, a trick I'd learned from pack security briefings. Information meant to help us track rogues. Now I was the rogue being tracked. I shifted back, changed into clean clothes, tried to look like a traveler, not a fugitive. My phone buzzed, messages flooding in. I didn't read them, didn't need to. I knew what they said. Threats, promises, demands to return. I turned off the phone, removed the SIM card, destroyed it, cut that connection completely. No phone meant no tracking, no contact, no way for Thorne to find me through technology. 10 a.m., the safe house. At 10 a.m., I reached a safe house, a place I'd researched months ago, back when I'd first started feeling unsafe, when I'd first started planning escape routes without even knowing why. I need shelter, I told the keeper, an elderly she-wolf who ran a refuge for wolves fleeing bad situations. Just for a day, maybe 2, until I figure out my next move. You're running from someone. Yes. Someone powerful? Very. Will they come looking for you? Probably, but I have leverage. Evidence that keeps me valuable alive. They'll think twice before coming after me. That's good. Smart. Most she-wolves who come here have nothing but fear. You've got protection. That's rare. You'll survive this. I hoped she was right. Hoped my evidence was enough. Hoped Thorne would choose his secrets over his pride. But I couldn't count on it. Couldn't assume I was safe. Had to keep moving. Keep planning. Keep surviving. Noon. The message. Us. At noon, I sent one message, through an encrypted channel. Untraceable, to someone I knew would spread the word. Alpha Thorne Blackwood planned to publicly reject his Luna, declare her rogue, and have her murdered to cover up his illegal dealings. She heard everything. She has evidence. She's gone. If anything happens to her, the evidence goes public. Spread the word. Make sure he knows she's not helpless. Not waiting for death. Fighting back. I sent it. Watched it disperse through underground channels, through wolves who trafficked in information, through networks that existed outside pack law. By nightfall, every pack in 3 territories would know Thorne's plan, would know I'd escaped, would know I had leverage, would know I wasn't the obedient Luna he expected, wasn't going to die quietly, wasn't going to make this easy. Evening. The response by evening. Responses came, through the same underground channels. Messages from wolves I'd never met but who'd heard my story. Safe houses available in the Western Territories. Contact me. I can provide false identification, new identity, fresh start, protection offered. No questions asked. Location provided if needed. The wolf community, the part that existed outside pack politics, was rallying. Offering help, offering escape, offering survival. Why are they helping me? I asked the safe housekeeper. Because you fought back. Because you didn't accept your fate. Because you escaped instead of submitting. That's rare, powerful, worth supporting. I just ran. That's not powerful. That's survival. Survival is power, especially for she-wolves. You survived a male who planned your death. You escaped a trap set by an alpha. You're fighting instead of dying. That's the most powerful thing you could do. Maybe she was right. Maybe survival was power. Maybe fleeing before the first light was the bravest thing I'd ever done. Chapter 5. The Hunt. Thorne's Perspective. Morning. The Discovery. I discovered Alara's absence at 8 a.m., went to her chambers to finalize details for tonight's gathering. Found them empty, stripped of personal items. abandoned. "Where is she?" I demanded of the servants. "We don't know, Alpha. We haven't seen Luna Alara since late last night." "Find her. Now, search the entire estate." They searched. Found nothing. She was gone. Disappeared. Fled. "How did she know?" Marcus asked when we convened in my study. "How did she know to run?" "She must have overheard, last night, when we were discussing the plan." "Impossible. The door was closed. We were careful, clearly not careful enough. She heard. She ran. Now she's gone, and tonight's plan is destroyed. We can still proceed, reject her in absentia, declare her rogue, and look like a fool? An alpha whose mate fled before his rejection ceremony? That's not strength. That's humiliation." The letters. We found the letters at 9 a.m., 3 of them, sealed, addressed. I opened mine, read it, felt rage building with every word. "I heard you, in your study, planning my rejection, my death. I'm gone. You'll never find me. And if you try, I'll destroy you with the evidence I have. Leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. Come after me, and I'll burn your entire world down. Choose wisely. Evidence." She had evidence. Of what? My dealings? My alliances? Everything I'd been hiding? "What evidence?" Marcus asked, reading over my shoulder. "I don't know. But if she's been collecting it, if she has proof of the Shadowpack alliance, the territory deals, the financial arrangements..." I couldn't finish. "She could destroy us." "Exactly, which means we can't just hunt her down, can't eliminate her without ensuring the evidence is destroyed first. So what do? We find her, carefully, quietly. We recover the evidence, then we eliminate her, in that order. The search. I mobilized search parties immediately, sent trackers, hunters, my best wolves. Find her, bring her back, alive. I need to know what evidence she has, where it's stored. Then we'll deal with her." But she'd covered her tracks well, washed her scent, disabled her phone, disappeared into neutral territory where pack authority didn't reach. "She's gone to ground," the head tracker reported. "Used every anti-tracking technique in the book. Whoever taught her this knew what they were doing. I taught her, through pack security briefings, through protocols meant to help us track rogues. I gave her the tools to escape me." The irony was bitter. I'd created my own worst enemy by being thorough in my security training. The message. At 2 p.m., a message spread through interpack networks. Anonymous, untraceable, devastating. Alpha Thorn Blackwood planned to publicly reject his Luna, declare her rogue, and have her murdered to cover up his illegal dealings. She heard everything. She has evidence. She's gone. If anything happens to her, the evidence goes public. Every pack in 3 territories heard it, knew it, judged me for it. My phone exploded with messages, questions, demands for explanation. "Is it true you planned to kill your mate? What illegal dealings is she referring to? The High Council wants answers, Alpha. Now." I was being destroyed, publicly, completely, by a she-wolf I'd dismissed as weak and obedient. "Deny everything," Marcus advised. "Say she's lying, having a breakdown, making false accusations. No one will believe that. She was too credible, too specific. And if she actually has evidence, then we're destroyed anyway. Might as well deny." But denial felt futile. Alara had outplayed me, had turned my own plan against me, had escaped and weaponized her knowledge in one perfect move. The realization. Sitting in my study that night, the night I should have been rejecting Alara and mating Seraphina, I realized something. I'd underestimated her, completely, catastrophically. Underestimated her intelligence, her courage, her survival instinct. I'd thought she was weak, obedient, easily controlled, just a useful Luna who'd accept whatever I decided. Instead, she'd been strong enough to overhear my plan and not break, smart enough to gather evidence, brave enough to run, strategic enough to protect herself with leverage. She'd outmaneuvered me, an alpha with years of experience, outmaneuvered by the mate I'd dismissed as worthless. We need to find her, I told Marcus. Not to kill her, to negotiate. Negotiate? If we can't eliminate her safely, we make a deal. She keeps her evidence private. We leave her alone, clean break, both sides protected. You think she'll agree? She doesn't want to destroy me. She wants to survive. We can both get what we want, if I'm smart enough to offer it. But finding her to negotiate proved impossible. She'd disappeared completely, gone to ground in a network I couldn't penetrate, protected by wolves I couldn't threaten. Alara was gone, and I was left dealing with the wreckage she'd left behind. Chapter 6. The New Life, 6 months later. The fresh start. 6 months after fleeing, I'd built a new life, in the Western Territories, under a new identity, as someone completely different from Luna Alara. You're doing well, my employer said. I worked at a bookstore now, quiet, peaceful, anonymous. You're reliable, dedicated, exactly what we need. Thank you, I appreciate the opportunity. Can I ask, what brings a she-wolf like you to this remote town? You seem educated, cultured, like you came from somewhere important. I did. I left. Now I'm here. That's all that matters. She didn't push. In the Western Territories, people respected privacy, respected that wolves came here to escape, to restart, to survive. I lived simply, worked hard, kept to myself. No one knew who I was. No one knew what I'd been. No one knew I was the Luna who'd fled an Alpha's murderous plot. I was just Lara, bookstore worker, quiet she-wolf. Nobody important. It was perfect. The peace, for the first time in 3 years, I was at peace. No thorn, no pressure, no performance. No trying to be perfect for someone who'd never value me. I read, walked, existed. Simple pleasures I'd never had time for as Luna. You seem content, my landlady observed, like you've found what you were looking for. I found myself. That's more than I expected. Running from something bad? Running from someone who wanted to destroy me. I escaped. I survived. I'm rebuilding. Good for you. Most she-wolves who run don't make it. They get caught, dragged back, destroyed. You're strong. You'll thrive here. I hoped she was right. Hoped I could build a life here. Hoped Thorn would keep the implicit bargain. Leave me alone, and I'd leave him alone. So far, he had. No hunters, no trackers. No attempts to find me. Either he'd accepted the bargain, or he couldn't find me. Either way, I was safe, for now. The visitor. The visitor arrived on a Tuesday, 6 months to the day after I'd fled. Tall, dark-haired, dangerous. An alpha by the power radiating from him. He entered my bookstore, looked around, found me. Lara? He asked. Yes. Can I help you? I'm looking for someone. A she-wolf, former Luna, fled her pack 6 months ago. I think you might be her. My blood ran cold. I don't know what you're talking about. Your name is Alara. You were mated to Alpha Thorn Blackwood. You overheard his plan to reject and kill you. You fled before the first light. You have evidence of his illegal dealings. Am I wrong? Who are you? My name is Kale. I'm Alpha of the Shadow Ridge Pack. I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to offer protection. Why would you offer me protection? Because I'm Thorn's enemy, have been for years, and the enemy of my enemy is my ally, also. His amber eyes held mine. Because what you did, escaping him, outmaneuvering him, protecting yourself, that takes courage, strength, intelligence, qualities I value, qualities I'd like to protect. I don't need protection. I'm fine on my own. Are you? Thorn hasn't stopped looking for you. He's just being subtle. Eventually, he'll find you. When he does, you'll need allies. I'm offering to be one. In exchange for what? Your evidence, not to destroy it, to use it, against Thorn, legally, strategically, to bring him down through proper channels, not murder. Help me destroy him. I'll protect you while we do it. It was tempting. So tempting. The chance to actually fight back, to destroy Thorn instead of just hiding from him. But it was also dangerous. Aligning with Thorn's enemy meant becoming a target again, meant giving up my peace, meant risking everything. I need to think about it. Take your time. But Alara? He pulled out a card. When Thorn finds you, and he will eventually, call me. I'll come. I'll protect you. You don't have to fight alone. He left, and I stood there holding his card, wondering if surviving meant hiding forever or fighting back. Epilogue. 1 year later. 1 year after fleeing, I stood in High Council chambers, testifying against Thorn, presenting my evidence, watching him face consequences. The evidence shows illegal territory deals, alliance violations, embezzlement, and conspiracy to commit murder, the Council Alpha pronounced. Alpha Thorn Blackwood, you are hereby stripped of your position, banned from holding pack authority. Your assets are frozen. You face criminal prosecution. Thorn stared at me across the chamber. Hatred, rage, defeat. You did this, he snarled. You destroyed me. No, you destroyed yourself. I just survived it. And then I decided surviving wasn't enough. I decided to fight back, to make sure you could never do this to anyone else. Kale stood beside me. True to his word, he'd protected me, helped me build the case, ensured I was safe while bringing Thorn down. You were brave, Kale said after the hearing. Braver than most wolves would be. You could have stayed hidden, stayed safe. Instead, you fought. I got tired of hiding, tired of letting him win, tired of being afraid. What will you do now? Now that he's destroyed? Now that you're free? I don't know. I've been running or fighting for so long. I don't know how to just exist, be normal, live without fear. Then let me show you. Stay in Shadow Ridge. Join my pack. Not as a replacement for what you lost. As something new. Something better. Something chosen instead of forced. Are you asking me to be your Luna? I'm asking you to be yourself. To heal. To build a life on your terms. If that eventually leads to being Luna, great. If not, also great. I just want you to be free. To choose. To live without fear. Looking at him, at the Alpha who'd protected me, believed in me, supported me, I made a choice. Not because I had to. Not because I was trapped. Not because I had no other options. Because I wanted to. Okay, I'll stay. I'll join your pack. I'll build something new. With you. If you'll have me. I'll have you. Exactly as you are. Survivor. Fighter. She-wolf who fled before the first light and became stronger for it. And that's what I did. I stayed. I healed. I built a life I chose instead of one I'd been forced into. I became Kale's Luna. Not because I had to. Because I wanted to. Because he valued me, protected me, loved me for exactly who I was. Thorn had tried to destroy me. Instead, he'd freed me. Fleeing before the first light had been the bravest thing I'd ever done. And building a new life afterward? That was even braver. Sometimes running is the strongest choice. Sometimes fleeing saves you. Sometimes the darkness before dawn is when you find your courage. I'd fled before the first light, and I'd run straight into my destiny. Closing. And there you have it, my beautiful dreamers. The story of Alara, Thorn, and Kale. Proof that overhearing betrayal can save your life. Fleeing before dawn takes courage, and sometimes running from darkness leads you straight to light. Did this story move you? Did you feel Alara's terror and triumph? Did you believe in her escape and redemption? Then show me some love. Hit that like button. Drop a comment telling me if you think she should have confronted Thorn before fleeing. and subscribe to Luna's romance audiobooks so you never miss another tale of survival and strength. I want to know, would you have run immediately or tried to gather more evidence? Would you have accepted Keel's protection? Would you have fought back or stayed hidden? Tell me in the comments. Until next time, my dreamers, may your betrayals be overheard, your escapes be successful, and your courage to flee lead you to safety and love. This is Luna signing off. Sweet dreams, beautiful souls.